Hello, welcome to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel. We're back after what? A hiatus of perhaps a week or two?
We had a Thanksgiving holiday.
We did.
You had a good Thanksgiving.
I'll drink the Thanksgiving.
All right.
You know, we're drinking the first half of the show. We're doing Punt, which is a type of vermouth which is not so sweet. It's got a little bit of herbal, like the Amaro thing. And what do we say? It was invented in 1786. Drinking on ice.
Sicily, right?
You can do it all day. Torino, Italy.
Torino,
Italy.
Yes.
You like Sicily. Anyway, it's got a nice fruity, you say a little pruny finish.
It's got a prune finish, which
it's
I don't mind at all.
It's got a lot of sort of a little bit of bitterness to keep it from being a very sweet vermouth.
Right. In the second half, we'll be tasting some Pimms.
Yes. Right. We have a big day to talk about.
We do. You know, right now, all the leaders from 150 countries are over in France.
They're probably wrapping up right now.
Talks.
Probably. Yes.
Probably going to be there for a number of days, and probably leaving this weekend. And they're discussing ways to help the climate change if possible.
What was that? A picture of Hollande?
And you know, some of the
I'll drink to that.
Some of the complaints were that here you've got people from 150 countries, the heads of states,
yes,
all flying in on expensive airplanes, gobbling up tons of gallons of gasoline, and they're discussing ways to help the climate.
Well, you have to do some things that get things done. You know, you have to break an egg to make an omelet, and that's how you do it. I was nervous because I was on a plane this week, and
yes.
And when you get juice, I know this is relevant. Like if you get apple juice, they give you the whole can, but you don't want to drink a lot because it's a bathroom that is shaped like a North Korean torture chamber.
Uh-huh.
So you don't want to go to the bathroom that much. So you just drink half. You're wasting half a can of apple juice. On the other hand, you're burning tons of fuel, right? I mean, it's a lot of fuel that you're burning just to travel. But I felt guilty about half of a can of apple juice.
You could ask for some vodka to mix with it.
Then
you can finish it off.
Apple juice and vodka?
Sure.
I don't know. Anyhow, what's that? COP?
COP21.
That's the climate change thing. What do you a lot of the candidates for president are disclaiming the fact that we have climate change and that there's anything bad. They talk about we have a government debt that keeps growing and it'll be bad for our grandchildren, our children and grandchildren, the debt. I think it's worse if we're flooded and have no forests, no vegetation. Things change, so I think climate change is a little bit more important than the national debt.
Well, if Florida is under 3 feet of water,
yes,
and there's no more rainforests left,
yes, which is happening
because they're chopping them all down to plant palm oil plants,
so that we have oil for our palms.
Oil, yes.
Yeah. You know what the highest mountain in Florida is?
Mount Hialeah.
Close. It's a waste dump near Hialeah. it's a mountain of rubbish,
trash. Huh?
So there you have another. What's worse? The national debt rising, which doesn't matter because we're going to have inflation. We keep making more money. We'll be able to carry it. But it's harder to deal with the climate change.
That's just it. China can carry our debt.
Yeah, we're fine.
But they're the biggest polluters in the world.
So it's between them, us, and India. And Finland.
Right. Now, one thing is contributing to the pollution is smoke from marijuana.
Oh yeah, yes.
Now,
usually you try to hold it in for a while.
Now several states. That's
the idea.
Here. Now, several states have legalized marijuana. 3 or 4 states, including
3 or 4. Oh yes, you mean
Columbia.
Totally legalized.
It's legalized pot. For recreational use and medicinal use. Many other states have legalized it for medicinal use.
Yes.
And including New Mexico. But it's still against the
questionable.
Federal crime.
It's questionable.
Still a federal crime to have marijuana. So here, for instance, we have a fellow in town.
Well,
actually, he lives in
from
Deming. He drives Las Cruces because he has a prescription for medicinal pot.
And that's where he has to come to
he
get it.
Comes here to buy the weed, but he has to drive back to Deming through the Border Patrol checkpoint.
And they know he's there.
Now, if
and
they
they
ask
keep
him,
harassing him.
They say, "Are you carrying any illegal drugs, sir?" If he says yes, then they'll search him. They find the weed. They could arrest him. If he says no and they search him, well, now he's just lied to a federal officer. Yes. He's maybe in bigger trouble. So he's saying that federal officers should not be asking people about their medical marijuana.
Right, there should be some kind of stipulation, and Bill McCamley is trying to get something in place so that people, you know, a lot of people are cured of many, not cured, but ameliorated of many of bad effects of disease.
Right, and it's a natural
It helps,
curative.
and it's great.
Now, if he had methadone on him with the prescription, he'd be fine. And methadone is an alternative to heroin. He'd be fine with methadone, but not marijuana.
This is a substitute too.
Yeah,
you know, this is a good substitute.
If you had this,
of course, you can't be driving after you've had this.
You couldn't have the bottle open in your car driving. You'd have to put it in the trunk.
Yes, or something.
Or finish it off and then it'd be empty.
So don't leave anything around. So yes,
that's the dilemma. What do you think? Should the Border Patrol?
We don't talk about medical marijuana that much because we haven't really run into any problems. Except this problem where you have somebody who is legally in the state allowed, but you have federal people just looking you over, and that's where it's going to come down to something. Here's another thing. The federal government is now discussing people who sell marijuana to be able to have actual bank accounts. Once that is...
You can't do that, otherwise the feds will seize your money.
Right, because it's illegally...
It's a federally insured
Yes.
bank.
So, but there is bills in the Senate and House of Representatives federally that is going to allow banks to take people who make their money from...
Because in places like Colorado,
And
where they have the pot stores,
yeah, parcels of money.
They have these amazing safes that they have to keep their money in.
And they have to guard the
Thousands of
safes.
dollars, right.
What do you do with that money? I guess you just give it to the cartel.
Well,
Or you have to launder it somehow. I mean, what good is money if you can't figure out a way to either invest it or spend it? What good is money?
You open up another outlets for your product.
I guess that's
Just
what
keep
happens.
expanding.
So, but things are changing little by little, and it's these little moves that will eventually get us to a place that I guess things will be equitable.
Well, we'll see.
Yes.
Now,
What else?
We
Equitable.
had Black
wanna be
Friday.
fair.
Black Friday was the shopping day.
Yes.
The Friday after Thanksgiving, everybody was supposed to go out and shop. Well, the local merchants here in Las Cruces decided, well, let's have after that a White Friday. We have Black Friday, now we're going to have White Friday.
Or Cyber Monday.
And people in town said, oh, White Friday. That doesn't sound right. It's just not politically correct to say White Friday.
Yes, but the reason it's called Black Friday, we discussed this on our Thanksgiving show, is it's called Black Friday because that's when merchants go from being in debt to being in the positive, in the black,
Right.
as opposed to being in the red. So they should call it Red Friday because we want the merchants to keep losing money.
No, it's White Friday. It was just, I'm not
Just as a
counterpoint.
contradiction. Yes, but we have a small business Saturday. That's the counterpoint to the big box stores. And things were more peaceful this year because of all the Cyber Mondays. And after the week went out this past week, we also had Black Friday continued. So,
Well, if you can have a Black Friday, then you can have a White Friday. I don't care what
yeah,
anybody
but the word
says.
white doesn't have anything to do with the reason it's called Black Friday, which is something to do with your ledger book.
Maybe it's a white sale.
A white sale is different because that means you're selling linen.
Yes, linen,
Or
towels,
else-
sheets.
What about an elephant sale?
White elephant?
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I've never seen an albino elephant.
Well, you're very limited in who you hang around
I don't
with.
get out much.
Really?
Now,
I used to date one. But anyway.
you ever get out to Santa Teresa?
Santa Teresa, yes, we go there regularly to go to Billy Cruz.
Yes. Well, you know, they've been trying to incorporate themselves as their own little city.
Is that the game Township?
Township.
That's Township.
Well, the game is more interesting than the town itself.
You can have more fun, and if you screw it up, then you just play it again.
Well, you know, Santa Teresa butts right up against Sunland Park. Now, Sunland Park did incorporate as a town, and they've had nothing but problems with their corruption and their incompetence. So Santa Teresa, they thought they wanted to become a township on their own. They finally decided to throw in the towel.
Because it's not worth it. Here's the thing, if you have people from Santa Teresa running for the government for Sunland Park, you may have a different mix of people because they, you know, I don't want to be stereotyping, but Santa Teresa has a lot of retirees and
Some nicer neighborhoods in Santa Teresa than Sunland Park, really.
which is why Billy Cruz is in Santa Teresa. Billy Cruz is one of the best
One of the
wine
better
lists
restaurants
in the country.
And it happens to be in New Mexico.
Yes.
Just across the Texas border into New Mexico.
And so is Sunland Park.
Yes, but you can't be on the Sunland Park Town Council unless you live in Sunland Park. Santa Teresa, I don't think counts.
Santa Teresa is considering whether they want to be
That's in the county.
aligned with Sunland Park. And
I don't think.
I think there's a move to get them either tacked onto it or something.
I don't think Santa Teresa should be incorporated into Sunland Park. I think they're better off separated. But
Sunland Park then, Santa
county.
Teresa doesn't have its own autonomy.
Well, no, it doesn't. And then
They could help
maybe
out.
they're better off without
They could
it.
help out Sunland Park. Sunland Park's under. Yes, it's very. When we first came here, we looked at the map. We saw Sunland Park. It sounds really nice. It's a park. It's sunny. We went down there. Well,
But you don't like racetracks?
that's like calling Greenland. So
It's icier than Iceland.
Iceland is appropriately named. Greenland, I guess they
Not so
ran out
much.
of colors. Yeah, they couldn't get anybody to move there if it were icier land. You can't call it icier land.
Actually, Greenland is more black than white.
Because
All
of the black
volcanoes.
stone? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, what's next? We want to get down. We're talking about another country, Greece.
Yes.
You have holiday
It's the
Greece
holidays
here.
for Greece.
Oh.
And but in this case, we're talking about the grease from all the food you're cooking for the holidays. The chicken
That
grease,
greasy turkey.
gravies, and all this greasy. What do you do with the grease? Well, anything but throw it down the drain. I don't care how much hot water you run down with
So you
it.
shouldn't throw it down your sink drain, right?
No, you shouldn't. Or in the dishwasher.
What about your bathtub?
No, not that.
How about flush it down your
Don't
toilet?
flush it down the toilet. It might be warm at first, but it will. The further down the line it gets, the more it congeals.
Oh.
Did you know the day after Thanksgiving is the busiest day for plumbers in America?
I did not know that.
That's true. So what do you do with the grease? Well, you let it congeal.
Put it into some other food and you eat it because then it congeals in you.
Exactly.
And
Right. It does to the pipes. What it does to your pipes.
to your arteries.
So you just put it in a can with a lid and put it in the garbage.
And let it congeal in the landfill. The other thing which you don't believe, you shouldn't put in your drain or either your drain or your incinerator or whatever that is.
What? Incinerator?
Not the incinerator.
Garbage disposal.
The garbage disposal is spaghetti or pasta, because spaghetti or pasta, as it gets wetter, it increases in volume and it clogs your drain.
Is that why Italians get so constipated a lot?
Italian towns, yeah.
Italian people.
Well,
Would it do that to you too?
No, would it do that? No, it's carbs. It's carbs. You eat it the same way as carbs. I mean, you could be eating cornflakes and the same effect would happen.
It does.
Don't you eat cornflakes
Occasionally I do, yes.
with sugar, frosted flakes?
No, with
You're
sugar.
such a healthy guy.
Not with sugar. I get the sugar-free cornflakes that are organic, no
Organic.
GMOs. I get them at Natural Grocers. It's the only place you can get them in town.
Where do you buy your GMOs? If you
I-
can't get them at natural grocers, you have to go to a regular store.
I come over to your house and get
Just
them.
sprinkle some GMOs on your food.
Yes, and along with the MSG. And so anyway, that's what you do with the holiday grease.
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't flush it down the toilet.
Or any part of your pipe system.
At one point,
We don't care because it happens to your system. It doesn't really happen to the town system. By the time it's in the town system, it's a flow.
Well, it could mess up somebody else's system. It could cause somebody else to
Possibly,
back up as
possibly.
well. Now, if you have a septic system, it doesn't have that far to go, but still, it could
It
clog
clogs.
it
It clogs.
up.
Yeah.
It does.
So make sure you eat all your grease. Don't let it get down the drain. If you have some greasy food, just keep on chopping it. What is greasy? Goose would be greasy.
A goose is greasy. A duck is greasy.
Duck is greasy. Goat.
Turkeys have grease. Ham.
You cook the food in grease, in fat,
You make gravy out of some drippings.
which also has flour in it.
Yes.
I think-
There's
you know
butter that can melt.
If you don't plan on being here too long in your house, just go toss it down and let the next people worry about
People make their pies with lard.
it. Oh, Lord.
So, anyway, with that, we're going to take a holiday break.
Yes, let's
aren't
go
we?
eat some Crisco.
Let's do that.
We're going to eat some Crisco.
That's hydrogenated, it's not good for you. It clogs your arteries.
That's the same as the grease in your pipes.
Exactly.
See you after the spot. We're going to knock off
Better
these.
finish this so we
Yes.
can try this.
We'll be on that. See you in a bit. A bit. A bit.
This is an important announcement for anyone prescribed the blood thinner medication Xarelto. If you or a loved one has been hospitalized or died from serious internal bleeding, including bleeding of the brain or intestinal system after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Don't delay. Call the Sentinel Group right now. The blood thinner medication Xarelto has been linked to an increased risk of severe internal bleeding, hemorrhaging, stroke, heart attack, and even death. If you or a loved one experienced severe internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result of taking the blood thinner medication Xarelto, call the Sentinel Group now. Our network of experienced attorneys are ready to help fight for you. You won't pay a thing until your case is settled. Call the Sentinel Group now for a free case evaluation. Don't wait. If you or a loved one has been hospitalized or died after taking Xarelto, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Call the Sentinel Group right now.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a secret. Even dancers have to work to stay in shape. How do I keep my body fit? Jazzercise. It's the perfect workout for me. The latest music, the hottest dance moves. It feels more like a girl's night out than a workout. Jazzercise helps me dance my way to a better body. When's the last time you danced? Find a class near you at jazzercise.com.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate, Fiesta Motors. Where buying a car is always a celebration.
And we're back. Welcome to Double Talk.
We are back. We are on to the Pimm's half of the show.
Yes.
Pimm's is a British beverage. The other one was Italian. This is a mixture of sweet vermouth and Amaro. This, we seem to feel it's a stronger alcohol content.
Stronger
sugary
flavor.
25% alcohol. And what did you say? You like this one better, though?
I think I prefer this one to this one. This one's not quite as sweet as this Pimm's is.
This doesn't have that pruny flavor. It has more of a vodka-y flavor with a bit of.
Well, it's got more. You can taste the fact that there's more alcohol in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lemony. You think citrus?
Lemony.
A little citrus?
Maybe.
You're supposed to mix this with like 7-Up or something like that.
Ooh.
But that would be even sugary.
Sweet.
Yes. Oh, you could use the Italian drink Aranciata, the orange juice.
With some homemade limeade, this would be pretty good.
Homemade
limeade that's not too
Sounds
sweet.
good. Well,
now,
yes, we're back onto our show.
Yes, last year, Las Cruces had the Country Music Festival for its second year in a row, and it was quite a success.
Big names.
They had a downtown right on Main Street in the area there, on Church Street, in the big parking lot behind the Black Box Theater, across from the post office. Big name acts like Kenny Rogers.
Was Kenny Rogers here?
Yeah. Local acts were there.
Bree Bagwell.
Bree Bagwell.
Big name.
Yeah.
Local star.
And they had all kinds of vendors set up in the parking lot as well. It was a nice festive
guys with cowboy
event.
hats. A lot of cowboy hat guys.
Are they going to do it again?
You know, guys with cowboy hats. How do you know their name? It's just you don't recognize. I don't
Men with
recognize the
hats.
hat. I don't recognize the hat.
Well, it happens every
Australian.
spring now. It's going to be in March again next year. But the city wants to move it out of downtown because
it's getting too big.
Well, they're constructing the plaza down there right now.
That's true.
So there's
After
less
that.
space and it's under construction. So they're talking about moving it out to the Field of Dreams.
And as we said before, the last time something was at the Field of Dreams,
it was a disaster.
Nobody was allowed to walk on the artificial grass because they would ruin the artificial grass.
Yeah, well, I just laid down the artificial grass in the stadium. And so everybody had to sit in the seats, look at a cockeyed view of Don McLean.
800 feet away.
So, well, they're not going to do it in the stadium. It's going to be outside the stadium, northeast of the stadium. On the grass,
in the field,
I guess.
So in some soccer field or something.
It'll be in the field of nightmares.
Scary.
And so there's more parking there, really.
But to get out, everybody there's like one way out, I think.
One way in, and 2 ways in.
2 ways in.
Motel Boulevard and Toshiro.
Yeah. Still.
And it's
like
a
2
nightmare
roads.
to those neighbors, I'm sure.
We try things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they work badly. So
Well, and when the city does it, it doesn't work very well. I don't
well,
know
who
why
else
that
can
is.
do it? I mean, the city has the Field of Dreams. The city is trying to put it on. What are their choices? They could use, I guess, NMSU. They probably charge way more
Actually, I thought
than
the
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams belonged to the Las Cruces school
Public schools,
system.
which, well, we'll find that out. We have until March to argue about this.
Well, apparently that's where it will be this next time. Hopefully they bring it back downtown the following year.
Because the food trucks could pull in and it's a lot easier.
It is, and why
Remember
not use
when
downtown?
when all these events were on Hadley?
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
it wasn't that bad, except getting out of parking was pretty bad.
Parking
That's
was
because
kinda
a
bad.
million people are there.
Right. Well, they still do the 4th of July there on Hadley.
That's a pretty good
Um,
thing.
But if they hold it downtown, then the downtown merchants can also take advantage of all the influx of people who show up.
Except then they argue that it causes too much traffic and they can't get any food
People
in
can't
there.
get in?
And yeah, it's too crowded. It's
They
too,
have to
it's
plan
too
ahead.
crowded. Nobody goes there anymore.
Right.
So that's the Las Cruces Country Music Fest. Changing venues.
Yes. Now, the
Yeah.
city, here's another way the city's getting money besides festivals, which we lost many of.
That was a great segue.
Wasn't it?
I'll just say that.
And that is, after the election for city council and mayor and judge this year, 2 of the people who lost by just a few votes
Under 20 votes apiece.
demanded a recount. So the city
Guzman?
said, okay, Guzman and Hall. And so the city went to the expense and the effort of recounting all
They
the
asked
votes.
them to do it, and they knew that there was going to be a price to get a recount because a recount isn't cheap. You have to get everything together. It has to be official. It has to be officiated. All the people have to check each other because if you recount it and it turns up, against you
Right.
again, or you want
Right.
verification
So the city's charging them for all. They're even charging them $68 for gasoline use
for the people to drive
for
there,
driving around
whatever.
and taking whatever.
That's the smallest part because the entire bill is $5,800. But it's $5,800 that our county spent to recount something. Which,
city.
How did it come out?
the same.
Exactly the same. So we did it correct the first time. Kind of amazing. I think we deserve $5,800 just to be applauded for getting it right the first time and the second time. Or you can make an argument we got it wrong both times.
Yeah, it's true.
You
Well,
can
one
make
of them
that argument.
lost by 11 votes. The other lost by what? 18,
20
votes?
18 yeah.
votes. And so it came out
That's
the same
pretty tight,
again.
man.
When only 400 people vote, though, it's a tight race.
Yeah. You might as well just talk to people and ask them what they voted and get them on camera. Say, I voted for Guzman.
You know, if those people in their district just went out and paid people $100 to vote for them, they would have saved money. And they would
That's
have won,
very possible.
too.
The only people who voted, though.
Yes.
Because they couldn't. The idea is they should spend money to get people to vote, or they should do a tax lien if you don't vote. How's that? That would be hard to follow up on. That's just some progressive ideas I just had. So what
That's
was that? Oh, so it's Guzman and Hall.
Yeah.
You're wearing a shirt that you wore in a movie that you filmed called Jim.
Well,
Was
that's
he-
true. I
was-
wore this movie.
This shirt.
This is the shirt that my character in the movie actually wore when we shot the film a year and a half ago.
It's called Jim,
It's
or
called-
in
it's called
Mexican, him.
Him.
And,
Anyway, the film is now showing up at the Santa Fe Film Festival.
right now, Saturday and Sunday.
This weekend?
Where you are right now.
Where I am right now.
Yes.
Yes.
In Santa Fe,
And so I'll be doing some reports. I'll be bringing some video back from the film festival next week.
with luck, or maybe not with luck. We'll see.
And so anyway,
You're going to see famous people, right?
Yes, I
The
am.
famous David Edwards.
yeah, he'll be there.
You're going to see him.
Yes, and who knows who else?
Ross Marks, perhaps.
Peter Bogdanovich.
Peter Bogdanovich.
He will be there.
He's about what, 5'2"?
He's not that tall. I
He's
saw
like
him.
this.
I saw him last year in El Paso
He's not
at
that-
the Plaza Film Festival a couple of times.
It's nice that he comes here.
He's a very interesting fellow, and he's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award this year at the festival.
That's pretty good. You get nervous when it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. What if they know something you don't know? It's getting
Right.
kind of close. We better do it while we still can.
Now, that's in Santa Fe, but here in Las Cruces we have lots of entertainment going on this weekend.
Other than this show,
You call this entertaining?
well, for us it's entertaining
Oh, that's
because
true.
we get to drink.
Well, that's
Remember
right.
that.
That's
Even
right.
though
I
you
forgot
don't
to.
love this one.
There's a play downtown. There's 2 plays downtown going on right now on Main Street.
3. Oh, Main Street. Main Street. on Golden Pond.
It's the final weekend for
On
on
Golden
Golden
Pond.
Pond. The movie was based on the play, you know.
Yes, based on probably a book.
Yes.
Henry Fonda was in the original one. We tried to get him. We didn't get
He's
any
on
response.
location.
We didn't get any response.
Deep
Really,
location.
he's actually on the What Happens After Golden Pond.
And then also happening, there's another play in town.
Starting this week, you say? Shrek.
Well, Frankenstein.
Oh, Frankenstein's
It's
down.
the final weekend for Frankenstein as well at the University Theater.
Yes, does that say Frankenstein?
And yes, and
What have you heard about this?
I hear
one?
it's an interesting production.
Interesting production.
Yeah, I would very much like to see that.
Let me just.
And some of the people watching has their phone on.
Yeah, it's somebody there.
I heard it. Now,
I think
also,
it's from Shrek.
Now, downtown at the Community Theater is a play based on a movie. In this case, the movie came first.
And then they did the play, and then the play's here.
It became a Broadway musical, and now they're doing the play here. It's called Shrek the Musical.
Good.
So it's a film version of the movie play.
It's really hard to do a play and be a cartoon character. You know, you could do it in a movie and be a cartoon character.
Well, Charlie Brown, Your Good Man Charlie Brown, was a play that
It's really hard to cast
based
for
on
that. You
cartoons.
need kids with really big heads.
you had Beauty and the Beast, based on the movie.
Fairy tale.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Janet Mosder directed this, right?
Yes.
I think she did.
Yes.
She's a pretty good director on musicals.
So that opens
should be
this
good.
weekend.
What else? Oh, the Luminarias are going to be at NMSU.
Yeah, they're setting those up today,
tomorrow night, Sunday, as well as tomorrow is Hanukkah, and the first night of Hanukkah. It's an 8-night event, or an 8-day event, which is why Jews are always saying, people say Jews have so many holidays. You know, we have reasons. And on Old Messiah, there's going to be a band, I think, 6 o'clock? When it gets dark.
5:30.
5:30, and they light the menorah lights. The first of menorah lights. It's so complicated that I could. Oh, Rabbi Schmuckler is going to be there from the Chabad, and they will be doing a little ceremony as well as have music, and that should be fun.
Right. You don't have to be of any faith to show
You don't have
up.
to be Jewish. You don't have to be Orthodox or Chabad.
Right. I mean, most of Christmas
Just show up.
is a Christian
It's
celebration,
festival.
and you don't have to be Christian to take part in that.
That's true.
It's never bothered me.
Because you're an atheist.
Well, I'm
Or
not a
something.
Christian.
Oh, he's something else. Anyhow, and we're all about to leave the show because we're going to see you next week, right?
We will be here next
We
week.
will be here
we
next
vow
week.
to be here next week, right?
We vow because it's such an exciting time of the year, the holiday time. We will have more exciting beverages to present
I hope
and
so.
drink. We never know.
That's
Cheers.
It's one of the
And
new
cheers
features of
to
our
you.
show. Thanks for joining us right here on Double Talk.
L'chaim.
Yeah, I still prefer that.
Oh, you know, you can mix these.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, to get at some of the bitterness. No, you think it's sweet? You're wrong. See you next week.
Hold on. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, you like Mark's hair?
That's better.
Is it?